Right, suppose I want to calculate the gradient at a particular point on a curve. Like for example this point here at x equals 2. So I want to measure how steep this particular point is on the graph. Remember, gradient is a measure of steepness. So as you can see at the beginning, imagine this is some kind of roller coaster ride. This is the track, and you can imagine it's very steep here, and then it gets less steep. Alright, I want to find the gradient, how steep it is at that particular point there. And then if I carry on, it's flattened out. So the gradient here is obviously 0. I'm interested in that particular point. So what I do is I need to draw a line, just like when this cart, imagine that's a cart on a roller coaster ride on the track. When that cart is resting on this track, you can see it's not going to be like that, it's kind of resting like this, isn't it? So I need to draw that line. So you need a ruler for this. You need roughly the same amount of gap. The gap that you have between the ruler and the curve, it needs to be roughly the same on this side of the point and on this side of the point. Okay, you can see this is wrong. Look, there's no gap here between the ruler and the curve, and there's lots of gap between the ruler and the curve. So it needs to be a balance. There you go. Then you draw a line. Doesn't matter how big it is. Just draw a line. Right, you could have made this a bit smaller. All I've got to do now is draw a triangle. So remember, in a previous video you'll have seen, hopefully you'll have seen how to work at the gradient of a straight line graph, and for that you would have drawn a triangle underneath the graph. Well, I've got a line here. All I've got to do now is pick any point, like this one for example, and this one, and make a triangle, a right angle triangle. Right, you can't really see that very well, can you? Right, let me just take it from here then. So you can draw the triangle, right angle triangle, anywhere on top of the line, below the line, it doesn't really matter. Gradient, if you remember, is rise divided by run. Rise over run, rise over run. So I need to work at the height of this. So what's the height of this? I need to count these squares now. So here we go. That's 1, that's 2, 2 and a bit, that's 2 point, that's 1, another one, that's 0.8, and that is 0.5. So altogether, what do we have here? 2, 2.8, 3.3. So the height of the triangle is what did I say? 3.3, and that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's exactly 4. It's 4. So what I'm going to do now is rise, run. 3.3 divided by 4. That is the gradient. It's going to be a positive number because this line is going uphill. If that line was going downhill like this, that way, it would have been a negative gradient. Right, let's suppose the graph was going down that way and I wanted to measure this gradient. So what I would have had to do then, I would have had to draw a line like this and then draw some kind of right angle triangle. And then work out rise over run, rise divided by run, and that would have been a negative gradient because it's going downhill.